I miss getting to see all of your faces of the small people of the congregation. I know my girls are missing all their friends from the playground, and I wanted to do a little children's sermon for you all. This week we hear about um, how God understands us, God gets us. And I think when we're afraid, um, have you ever had a moment when you've been really scared of what's happening? I know I've had those noises in the middle of the night that wakes me up and makes me worry about what's going on. And I know Anamore's gone through a couple times recently where she's a little bit of afraid of the dark. Have you guys ever been afraid yourselves? Um, well, the neat thing about our God is that even when we're afraid, we can pray to Him and we know that we're important to our God, that we don't have to worry about being alone or facing those fears by ourselves. Um, and so I don't feel silly praying to God, and I don't think you should either, when you have those moments of being afraid or being nervous about something. God gets that, and God's with us even then. And I wanted to read this book that I absolutely love. I got it before Anamore was born, and I took it with me to the hospital. And it was one of the first books that I read to her. I sat in a rocking chair in our hospital room and I read it. And it's called On the Night You Were Born by Nancy Tillman. And I'll try to make sure you can see the pictures because they're beautiful. But I think this book reminds you that you are really loved by God and that you have nothing to be afraid of. That even when we are afraid, God is always, always, always with us. All right, so this is the first page. All right, so it says, on the night you were born, the moon smiled with such wonder that the stars peeked in to see you, and the night wind whispered, life will never be the same. Because there had never been anyone like you, ever in the world. You can see the picture, there's a little baby. All right. So enchanted with you were the wind and the rain that they whispered the sound of your wonderful name. The sound of your name is a magical one. Let's say it out loud before we go on. So take a moment for you to say your name because it's a beautiful name. And look at that picture. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. My cat is making an appearance. I apologize. Lexi, get out of the way. Do you guys have pets at home? We have 4 cats and 2 dogs. So keeping them away from the computer and the phone is really difficult sometimes. So, all right. Let's try again. She knocked it over a little bit. All right. It sailed through the farmland and high on the breeze. Look. And then the owl is saying, who in the world is exactly like you? Who? Over the ocean. Look how pretty that is. Full moon that night. And through the trees. Look at the pretty picture of the trees. Oh, your name. Until everyone heard it and everyone knew of the one and only ever you. Look at the geese. Look at the little chicks. All right. Not once had there been such eyes, such a nose, such silly, wiggly, wonderful toes. In fact, I think I'll count to 3 so that you can wiggle your toes for me. All right, so wiggle your toes. Ready? I'll count. 1, 2, 3. Wiggle your toes. And look at the little baby. Their toes are sticking up, their feet are up. Oh. Now, when the polar bears heard, they danced until dawn. See, they're dancing. They're celebrating. From far away places, the geese flew home. They're all coming home. We've got a lot of geese coming home near our house, and we hear them making lots of noise every night. They're coming home. The moon stayed up until morning next day. And none of the ladybugs flew away. Look how many ladybugs there are in that picture. How many do you see? A lot? I see a lot too. There's a frog. So whenever you doubt just how special you are, and you wonder who loves you, how much and how far, listen for the geese honking high in the sky. They're singing a song to remember you by. Or notice the bears asleep at the zoo. It's because they were dancing all night for you. Or drift off to sleep to the sound of the wind. Listen closely. It's whispering your name again. Look at a pretty picture. Here are the geese. If the moon stays up until morning one day, or a ladybug lands and decides to stay, or a little bird sits at your window a while, it's because they're all hoping to see you smile. Look, they're all looking for your smile. For never before in a story or rhyme, not even once upon a time, has the world ever known a you, my friend, and it never will, not ever again. Look at that pretty picture. I like it. Heaven blew every trumpet and played every horn on the wonderful, marvelous night you were born. Look at the celebration just for you. The end. So remember, you are so, so loved by God and by your families and by us. And I look forward to getting to see you guys again soon. Have a good day. Bye.